Welcome to A Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guest today, if he isn't serving up unique and classic sandwiches with their own special twist, then they're creating and putting an amazing tattoo or piercing on you. Please welcome my guest from Tavares, Florida, the owner of the Deli Llama and Mr. Williams Tattoo Company, Brent Williams. What's going on, man?
Pretty good. Thank you for that intro.
It was pretty good, right? Not too bad.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm getting a little better at this. So before we start, obviously we're in the Deli Llama, but I want to know, what's your go-to sandwich?
The newest sandwich that I'm making.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of times we'll do a special. We usually run 3 or 4 a week, and I love every one.
What's tell me what it's called and give me a little bit of a description on what it is.
Today we're doing a We Be Jammin'. So what that is, it's a ham fontina. We're doing a little chili lime onion sauce. We're doing a little bit of sourdough, and it's pressed. So it's got a nice savory, sweet. You know what I mean? Really good balance. Yeah, it definitely does.
It's definitely a way to it's amazing what you guys have with the different sandwiches and everything that you guys come up with. Tell folks a little bit how you even decided to start and open the Deli Llama.
I'm a sandwich eater.
Okay.
There you go.
That was it. That was kind of what led to it.
That's really it. And you know, when you start one of these things, you don't know how much goes in, so you go one step at a time. So every step back isn't so much a mistake as it is a lesson.
Okay.
So ignorance is bliss. Anyone who wants to open a business, just know you move forward, don't look back.
Yep, for sure. And some of the things that I find very interesting, and just some backstory on how I met Brent. The interesting part was, how did you? Well, let's first bring up the topic of how did you guys come up with the name Deli Llama? Because it's obviously an amazing name. I actually had it as a shirt idea, which you and I have talked about. So how did you come up with the name?
Well, this is in a old convenience store. So the Llama convenience store. Very nice people, owned it for about 15 years. And this is where all the kids came to get their underage cigarettes.
Yep.
And the backdoor beer.
Okay.
So it closed. It was sitting vacant for a couple of years. So I drove by, and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And so then you basically said, we're going to make this a Deli Llama.
We're doing it. We had an idea of doing half coffee with the espresso base and then half sandwiches. And then you saw the sandwiches really take over. And now we see a shift there where the coffee's now coming in.
Okay.
So you definitely see an ebb and flow. So far, so good.
Yeah. No, it's been great. How long have you guys been open now?
I think we're on our 4th year.
Okay. Perfect. So just a recap. So what's funny, because when we met, I won't forget, because I was selling at an event and you came up to me and we started talking sandwiches, and it literally was like kind of like the whole idea of a soulmates. Like I basically felt like
simpatico.
Yes. Like we totally like vibed on the sandwich. We must have talked for probably a good hour at least. While I was trying to sell, and like we were just talking sandwiches and going back and forth. And what part that makes me laugh is the fact that you say in passing, yeah, I'm going to open a place and it's called the Deli Llama. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, that's an awesome name. That's so awesome. And I kind of thought you were just like literally saying like, I'm going to, like, it's going to happen in a few months or whatever. And then like 2-3 weeks later, you basically, it's open. Like you're actually open. So did you have restaurant experience before all this? Like, I know you've owned different businesses. I know you own like antique stores, carpet cleaning. In the intro, I mentioned obviously that you also own Mr. Williams Tattoo Company. So like restaurant experience, where did it all kind of come from? Just a love of sandwiches?
Love of sandwiches. No experience whatsoever. I really thought about logistics. My wife is really good with the recipes. I'm good with combinations and logistics. So I sat here and I wanted to make as least motions as possible to get the job done. So I just thought to myself, do we move right to left? Are we going left to right? And this is a smaller layout, so we had to get creative. Sandwiches. Yeah. I love them. So, the old ones I've had are the ones been here for a few years. I still eat. The new ones I'm eating now. So,
how often are you shifting menus?
We have a standard menu, probably about 30 items out of this little place. And then we do specials. And if a special takes off, I mean, how do we not keep that special? So our idea is really going to have about 7 to 10 sandwiches, 4 to 5 salads, and just keep it nice and easy so we can get it done. And I think realistically, having a large menu, you have to suffer the food. You're not able to concentrate. You're not able to get that rhythm. Yeah. So as the specials came, the menu grew. And as we got better at building, we were okay. We kept our times where we needed. You know, our goal's about 10 to 15 minutes per order. Sometimes it extends more, but that sends me back to the idea of logistics. Yeah. The employees here are great. They have experience. They come up with a great idea. I mean, we flow. We'll allow it to get in.
That's awesome.
So it's one of these places where, you know, I hate to say a lot of children, a lot of youngsters run these restaurants. Yeah. You put an 18-year-old at the front, you put a 17-year-old, you know, leading the 18-year-old, and they're supposed to fill these tables. Yeah. I'm okay for the younger people, but I want to eat. I want it to be good. Yeah. So I hired experience. Yeah. And that's one thing I could really tell someone. You know, you get in looking for the bottom and looking for profit. I think that's the wrong way to go. Yeah. I think you build, the people come, find your money. That's the ignorance. Yeah.
And that makes sense. And you guys, and what I've loved is the fact that you guys have mixed it up. So I mean, obviously, I love you guys because more so when you're wonderful, but I also the fact that you guys do sandwiches, but you guys have also know that it's like, hey, I want to give what the people want. So like you've done charcuterie boards, you do tacos, you'll do a variety of different things to be able to kind of show and kind of almost multi-purpose the food that you have that's provided for your sandwiches, are able to make it into other things. And that's something you make flatbreads. I mean, so I definitely think that it's very smart what you guys have are doing with basically kind of as, you know, starting off with the sandwich as the beginning, but then also kind of seeing like what do the people in my community want, and then kind of listening to the community.
Well, what is crazy is I actually am not as friendly as that. What we really did is, as we got better, as the times allowed us to put logistically more items on, then we did so. And the ones who stuck stay. The ones I love, even if they really didn't stick, I'm hungry, I kept. Okay. My wife kind of did the same. And then you'll notice 3-4 months later, out of nowhere, it hits. And it runs, and then, you know, and then some of the favorites, because as we got busier, we weren't able to create or make the times. So then they became more of a they came off the menu, and if you knew we had it, we would make it for you as a specialty.
Kind of like a secret menu.
It's kind of a secret menu.
I like it.
I have a lot of people come in and just want me to make something. And that's what you do. And you start, and at the end you think, you know, sweet, salty, savory, and you're on the move. That's it. Your hands start moving, sandwich comes out, and you're hoping they really like it.
I'm really fascinated by the fact that, you know, I've had quite a few of your sandwiches, and they're all amazing. And I guess in many ways, I guess I kind of look at it as because I can see people have that fear and say, well, I don't know if I can open a restaurant, or I don't know. And there's always obviously the two sides of the house. Like obviously some people at home say, well, I make a great sandwich, or I make a great this. And then when it comes to translating it into more of a mass area, where you're kind of doing it more repetitive and there's more of a larger quantity of people doing, it becomes a little bit more difficult to actually or be able to provide that same consistency of flavor or consistency of quality of that you're doing. So I think it's very impressive what you guys have done, because your menu, you really do have some amazing sandwiches that and the different flavors, and I always enjoy hearing kind of like your sandwich concept of how you do it, because you do have like a sandwich kind of flow of what your sandwich style is. So do you want to kind of share a little bit of that sandwich style?
Well, I often don't use the word condiment, as I like to use sauce. I don't do a little squirt. I do a kasplooge. I really like to not make them wet, you know, so I use a really good thicker sourdough bread from Old Hearth. Guys are amazing, which holds my sauce. So I like to sauce, cheese, meat. I'll do a pickle, or I'll do a cabbage, or whatever I want to have that crunch, that different little either sour or savory. Then I'll move back into cheese sauce. So that's how I'm building. I'm building them up to back to the middle. You know what I mean? The top, front, and back usually match, and then middle comes to the center. So it's one of those, I'm not trying to create anything different. I'm just making what I like. Yeah. So I didn't try to find a certain person I could either copy or, or really borrow from. We just, like I said, we went and just took over. Now, another thing that, a lot of times people say, how, and like I say, the one word people get tired of me saying is logistics.
Yeah.
To be able to stand there and give yourself an hour and a half to think before I lay this sandwich out, where am I grabbing? How far do I have to reach under the deli, table? Can I keep everything on the top? Can I reach above? Keeping my temps where they need to be, keeping my, the sanitary way you're really making your foods, and really just working the problem out before you send out the sandwich. That creates the sloppiness, that creates the time that we're not looking to have.
Yeah.
And now you're just basically practicing on the customer. We don't want to do that. We want it to be good, if not great.
Yeah.
Every sandwich I send out, I really believe in. I'm kind of a sandwich pig.
No, I love it. I love it.
I will eat them every day, all day. And my waistline shows it.
There's a reason why I feel like I told you we're simpatico, you and I.
Simpatico.
For sure. So you actually brought up Old Hearth, and I'm a huge fan of the fact that you guys support small business, and the fact that you use the local bread with Old Hearth, the fact that you guys use, even though they're not local, but they are a small business, the Lucky Goat coffee from Tallahassee. So I just was curious on like what. You guys and you also do Cool Craft Saturdays. Is something you guys did for a while.
Super fun. We'll be starting that again. We obviously slowed that down with the issues we had the last year or so.
Correct.
But really fun.
Yeah.
We're in a different space. We're in Lake County, so we're not more in a city area. Doesn't really get that crowded, but we have nice people. We're on the lake, and anyone who wants to join us when we start again, please reach out.
Why do you think it's so important? And I'm going to bring something up after you say this, but why do you guys find it so important to kind of support and include so many small businesses, or even include small businesses in your own small business?
We are one of them. And a lot of times you'll find a smaller business has a fresher product, and if they can keep up with what we need, why not? So we have a small business right here called King's Barbecue. This is a wonderful barbecue place. It's been open for 40, 50 years. They closed down, but the King's name still lives on. They make a local barbecue sauce. It's a mustard base. The lady is amazingly nice, very accommodating, and the sauce is baller. So you're dealing with a great person, a fresh product, and a great product.
Yeah.
So the why is more of a why not. And it's simple to see. A lot of these places around here do a really good job. Again, they're not mass producing, but they're putting out really good products for us, almost the way we are doing. Yeah. We get a beautiful local honey. We get really good jams made in Tallahassee. We're getting our coffee from Tallahassee as well. And I'm hungry, and I want to make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want a good to great sandwich.
I'm down for the fact of quality ingredients makes a quality sandwich and anything you do. So I definitely think that's amazing to do. One story that I find to be very interesting, and it's because obviously I was experiencing it, was so when we did I was selling at one of the Cool Craft Saturdays, and what I found to be very interesting, even though you're a sandwich shop and you have food, you actually invited our friends Black Magic Pizza to make pizza. Yes. And I told some of my friends, and some of my friends are like, that makes no sense. Like, why would a restaurant have another restaurant do food? And I was like, because that's how they are. I'm like, that's that, and the fact that you and I'm going to say selfishly, you probably were like, I love his pizza, and I want his pizza, and I want his pizza, and so therefore I'm going to invite him. And so I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Dude, it is amazing.
I'm a pig.
But that was one of the things that I truly appreciated, the fact that you were like, dude, I was like, I'm okay with people coming and getting, because that's literally what I did. I ended up buying pizza from him and a sandwich from you. And so I was like, I didn't care. I was just like, I was in heaven, being able to enjoy all that food. So I definitely think it's amazing what you guys have done. And also just the fact that you're also providing, because of the fact that it's Lake County, it's an area where it's not really as popular as, all the different places in Orlando and everything, but you're still obviously getting the accolades. I know you guys were Orlando Sentinel gave you guys like one of the top runner-up for top sandwiches in Orlando this year. So I mean, obviously, I'm glad the word is spreading on what you guys are doing, and I think it's amazing. I think it's really a testament of what you guys are doing, and the flavors and what you're providing, and as you would use the nice sandwiches and the nice ingredients and everything that you're trying.
Oh yeah, and going back to Black Magic Pizza,
Yeah.
the one thing I did regret is not taking a slice and pressing it and turning it into a panini. When he left, I said, I could have really rolled that baby up and gave it a good, 350 press for a good 7 to 10 minutes.
We may have to try that. We may
Yes.
have to. I may have to see. We'll have to lab that and see if we can have them, Travis and company, to
Yes.
and Elizabeth, come make it so we can do that. Okay, so you obviously spend you guys are obviously you have a full functioning restaurant, always open. You also own a tattoo shop and piercing, Mr. Williams Tattoo Company. So how the heck are you balancing these two businesses? Because they're so different.
Well, one of the it's a small town. I have a tattoo shop on Main Street, and 3 streets over is the Deli Llama. So it allows me to walk back and forth. So a lot of times, like today, I'm working till 3 at the Deli Llama. Then I'll move back over to the Miss Williams Tattoo. I have 2 consultations. So I work the rush. I walk over, and I really enjoy doing both.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really bother me. It gets stressful sometimes, and at times when you have the rush and everyone's in the weeds, and I got an appointment right after, you'll find yourself getting a little frustrated, and then you'll eat a sandwich, and it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Diane, obviously, Michelle, your wife, is here at the Llama, and
She's amazing,
and which is amazing. And then I'm assuming, and you guys have hired great people, which is
Great
obviously,
people, yeah.
I think the key to be able to kind of give you a little bit of that relief, to at least know. And you were saying kind of making sure obviously you stay the course, because you got to be at 2 places at once, but at the same time being able to actually know that you have people that are there to be able to kind of do the job and get the job done. I think is very important to kind of be able to actually balance something like that, I'm imagining.
Yeah, we have some really good people. And again, we brought them in, we trained them. These are people who critical thinkers. It is a small space. We have sometimes a 4 up to a 6-person staff. So we really have to move, and we really have to work with each other very well. So the customers will find us not so much shouting, but giving the from one side to the other, to the 20-foot request.
Yeah.
And I think it adds to what we're doing here. We're honest. We're doing the best we can. I'm not a chef. I don't pretend to be. But I do believe in my sandwiches, and I've been to a lot of places growing up. And what did we always eat when we were young? Whether you're calling it a panini, a sub, or a hoagie, we all grew up on these.
Yeah.
And so to sit here and to bring in the great people that I know are going to do a great job, and really represent the business the way it should be run and perceived, you know what I mean? It's a great kind of luxury, and I'm very thankful to have great people.
No, that makes I think that definitely makes life a lot easier when you have great people around you.
Yeah, I want to go back, and I'd like to go back. It's
please.
When I said don't let the kids run your restaurant.
Yeah.
If you have a very smart kid, let him in.
Yeah.
A lot are preoccupied. A lot are they're doing it for money.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to get paid. Everyone
Correct.
needs that money. But a lot of us in here are throwing recipes back and forth, throwing ideas back and forth. So you'll find the person who usually isn't is that younger folk, is that younger person. Now, we've had a few. I mean, we had a girl in here, her name was Miranda, and she killed it. She was right off the rip, really into the espresso, really into the sandwiches, and a younger person. But I don't want to misrepresent.
Correct.
So younger people, woohoo, look for a job, but just, be prepared to answer some questions if you come to the Deli Llama.
I like it. What advice would you tell me if I was looking to start something on my own? What would be your advice to give to me?
No investors. If you can't do it yourself, don't do it. Stay motivated. Don't look as a mistake as failure. A lot of people will say, "Oh, you spent $400 getting that trim." I said, "Well, actually, I spent $400 getting it right. Unfortunately, I should have maybe done a different. Well, now I know next time."
Yeah.
And these aren't mistakes, but lessons. So I would tell anybody, move forward, keep your head down, work. You'll turn around one day and you'll say, my goodness, where did we get all this?
Yeah.
And that's really what I'd have to say. Move.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
I like that. Why do you think that people and businesses fail then?
again, investors, people
Yeah.
are looking for money. They're right off the rip. It's too much overhead. You really have to set yourself up for success. You need to find the place that you can really establish a good lease. You need landlords who are willing to work with you, or at least will give you a really good lease to work with. And a great idea. And again, the word that everyone gets sick of me saying, logistics.
Yeah.
You get in, you think, you try again. My 10 to 15 minute goal still stands when we have a 30-minute, 40-minute line out the door.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to achieve that really great sandwich, 15 minutes. And a lot of people around here, we'll let them know it's a 30-minute wait, it's a 35-minute wait. They'll nod their heads, they'll put their order in, and they'll sit down.
Yeah.
We have music you often won't hear. Sometimes we'll put on a mid-90s to early 2000s rap, and everyone knows that was some crazy stuff. Back then, that was some crazy stuff.
Yes.
And, we'll have the older folks in here, and they'll tell me, wow, it's so spirited.
Yeah.
We love this, and a lot of people, just like in Orlando, because of the tattoo shop, we have quite a few tattooed people. And in Lake County, a little more conservative. Not that we don't have a fair share of tattooed people up here, but you'll find the older folks saying, I should get a tattoo like you. In order to get in here, I guess I need one. And these are small, little fun comments that let us know that we are accepted, that food is first.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people that I'm a tattoo guy who makes sandwiches. I'm not a sandwich guy who makes tattoos. So we're here to help you. We're here to help you as best we can.
Yeah.
But if there's a problem, and if you're a problem, I'm sorry. The customer's always right was made up by a customer.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone knows that in the business. We're a small sandwich spot doing the best we can. And I would say 99% of the time, folks are very happy with it. We do carry Jimmy John's cards in the shop. We do have a firehouse right down the street. If you don't look at our menu, you don't like it. If you have a sandwich you don't enjoy, I eat Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
I eat Firehouse.
Yeah. There's a time and a place for all
There's
those.
a time and a place.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. I hope they don't hate me, even though you will get some words. But I'm okay. I think everyone, like you said, has their place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. I totally can see that being something like that.
Yeah,
when
we're not mean people.
No. Well, and I also think the fact that you're 10 to 15 minutes, also the fact that you're actually also pressing all the sandwiches.
Yes.
So obviously you want to have that good crunch factor, the melt, all those things play a factor into it. And you don't want to, no one wants I know for me, like when I just had the Deli Llama Cuban, and like the big thing for me was the crunch, that melt of the Swiss when I took a bite into it. Like all those things kind of blend together, and all those things take a little bit of time because you need to. It's kind of like it's getting a big hug from your press. You need it.
You hate a cold center.
Correct.
How many times has either the press been too hot,
Mm-hmm.
where you're just crunching the outside and nothing's happening in the center? Too cold, you're 20 minutes. You're waiting for this thing to work. The bread's not doing what you want. The lines are scoring, but the bread's not toasting. So, I mean, you're looking, again, for that balance. It takes quite a few sandwiches, and every sandwich is different. We're using a sourdough from them. We're also using a sub roll or a hoagie roll from them. So each pressed differently. But you still want that warm to hot center.
Yep.
Please, people, don't pull your sandwiches off too soon.
I love it.
And if they're burnt, remake it. Let them know. I tell them I'm 7 minutes away from repairing any problem we have, from taking care of any mistake. If you have a problem, you walk up, you say, "Hey, Brent, what the heck's going on?" I say, "Oops." I turn around. 7 minutes later, you have a brand new sandwich. So don't get frustrated. Be aware that sometimes you are wrong.
Yeah.
And press that sandwich. Get them out. Put a smile on your face.
I love it, dude. I love it. What do you have any other parting comments or ideas that you want to share with us before I let people before you kind of share with everyone where they can find you and where they can come support and eat some of your sandwiches?
Well, we're Deli Llama. We're hard to find. I don't mind that. We're in Tavares. I think if you come, I think you'll enjoy yourself. You're going to find something different in this area, but I wouldn't say different in Orlando. And, like I said, just do the best you can.
Yeah.
And you will turn around and you will see what you have built. If you keep your head down, keep moving.
And I think that's a really good, valuable point, because I think we and I'm one to, we tend to be put a lot more pressure on ourselves a lot of times, and a lot of people tend to kind of look around and see what other people are doing, and they forget that everyone's got like their own journey and how they're going to get to where they're going to go, and we then tend to forget to celebrate the small successes of where you've kind of built up, because it's literally it is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a quick sprint, and I think that's something that is very good to remember, to know. And it's very inspiring, the fact that like what you guys, I absolutely love. I wish I was closer to Tavares, because it's about at least 45 minutes away from my house. But when I come, I absolutely love it. I wish you guys were closer, but I'm at the same time.
Drone delivery.
No, future.
Drone delivery.
Yeah, that'll be the future.
Come on, Bezos, let's get on this.
I like it. I like that idea.
And I was told a while ago when I first opened, and you remember some of these bits of advice, even from folks that are in the restaurant business, and you always have to reinvent yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
always need to move forward. You start getting stale if you don't find yourself. So every time people come in, they go, looks a little different in here. And I say, oh, does it? We just added a stage, added a slight wall, came up with a new special. So we do get a lot of folks who have, and I think as you've seen, where we've started and where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep flowing.
That's what I love. And people always want to do that, especially when you're doing a market. Like for me, when I do markets, like the number one thing is like, oh, what's new? What do you got new going on? And so they always want to see the new, because obviously they want to be able to support, but they're also very curious and seeing if you're going to stay, if you're the same old, or if you're actually going to be probably expanding or expressing yourself in different ways, and trying to get your stuff out there. So I definitely great advice.
Biggie is a superstar. Every time I wear his shirt or hat, the comments never end.
Well, I absolutely love you in my stuff, so I definitely appreciate it, and I love seeing the stickers in here. It means a lot, the support. I do really appreciate it, and like I said, we definitely built a bond that first time we met and talked, and I've been a super fan of you guys since, and I know you've been very super supportive, and I also love hearing, because there's so many other small businesses that have seen you guys come and like support them at different markets and stuff like that. So I absolutely love the community that we've created with all these different small businesses and people that are kind of like, I feel like in my circle of small businesses that I enjoy. So I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome, man. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much to Brent for being on and having lunch with me. I'm actually going to be eating quite a few sandwiches after we're done. If you make sure to definitely check them out online. They're located at, obviously, the Deli Llama on Instagram, as well as also Mr. Williams.
Yes, Mr. Williams Tattoo. We also have the Deli Llama 352 is the Instagram. Google us.
Yes, Google them. And if you're in the area, Tavares is beautiful. You definitely come check it out. And definitely, if you're in the area, if you're anywhere in this area, definitely come and make sure to eat and enjoy the sandwich and enjoy a sandwich here, and definitely have a coffee. Amazing coffee.
It's a great day trip out here.
Yep.
Bring a girl, go to the lake, have a coffee. And we also have other small business coffee shops, sandwich shops. Give me a. I ask for a rotation. We all have our places where you go every week.
Yeah.
Put me on rotation.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely a good way to go. If you enjoy the show, definitely make sure to subscribe. If you want to support me, check out my brand, Deli Fresh Threads, and do some shopping and tell your friends. Thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion. Thanks, everyone.